Yo, yo, yo. Yo, Rebel Advocates in the building. We're back. Back again. Not really, anyway. Who's out here? Is anyone out here with me?
Hey, also,
Hold up.
Johnny.
Hey, Johnny Depp.
Hold on.
You cool, yeah?
Did there, man. Yourself?
Can't complain, old chap.
I hear it. I hear it.
Cannot complain. Anyway, this is a big one today. An important one. We're going to be talking about racism in football. Funny enough. Anyway, welcome everyone to today's show, which is about racism in football. Um, football's called a beautiful game, some people call it. A sport that unites nations, cultures, religions, and communities. But behind the chants, the goals, and the glory, there's always been a darker side. Racism, discrimination, exclusion. From bananas thrown on a pitch to monkey chants to online abuse in the modern era. Today we're taking a deep dive, a full historical journey through football's most shameful moments and the heroes who fought back and the long roads towards equality. This is history of racism in football. Anyway, do you remember some of the early times of racism, old chap? Bef-
Um,
Before our times.
what's the earliest ones I remember? Righty. Well, but that was before, man, innit? When him and the Man United keeper, Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, that was quite in the mids. In the mids, that was.
Yeah.
Um, but let's go a little bit earlier. Yeah, let's go to the early in the 20th century. Yeah, where it was like football was mainly like a white working class for white working
Mhm.
class communities. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which reflected the attitudes of the time. In England, black players were rare, extremely rare. One of the first known professionals was Arthur Wharton. Played in the late 1800s,
Right.
before our time. You know what I'm saying? He was a goalkeeper born in Ghana. He faced open hostility just for stepping on the pitch. Crowds would shout racial slurs. Newspapers questioned whether even black men even belonged in the sport, but he played anyway.
Mhm.
Then we go to the 20s and 30s. Players of African and Caribbean descent were almost completely absent from top level football in Europe. Not because they lacked talent, but because society simply didn't want them there. Dis-
Mhm.
Discrimination wasn't always violent, it was structural. Clubs just didn't sign black players. Scouts ignored them. Coaches doubted them. So racism in football didn't start with chanting. It started with exclusion. What do you say about that, old chap?
Started with exclusion. That's bad, you know. So what you're saying is that they like basically what you're saying is they only got scouted them times that no one actually uh, went in and actually paid a fee for paid a big fee for paid a fee for no player.
No.
Yeah, that's bad still, man. That's bad. But is that are we talking like just in England in general, or are we talking about like worldwide?
Talking in Europe, mainly in Europe,
Okay,
that was.
okay. Do you know what I'll say? It's not surprising. It's not accept. I don't. It's not acceptable. But them days there, it's not surprising. Because look how the FA deal with stuff now, innit? They pick and choose who get me who the favourites are and it's like weird stuff like that, innit? Where we look at things like, all right, we're talking about the early days now. What do you say that was? What century was that? What
Talk about
century?
that was like
What
the
century was that again?
1920s and the 30s.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so it wasn't that long ago, was it? Even though it was long. I mean,
Nah.
if we're looking at our when you know when I was born and when you was born, you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It's not that long. I mean, if when you look at today's year, it seems like it was a long time ago. You get me? When you look at today's times, but it wasn't that long ago, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I hear it. I hear it. I hear it.
Anyway, let's crack on to the 60s and 70s, my time. By the 60s, Britain and Europe were changing. Oh, that's a good thing, right? They were changing anyway. Immigration from the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia increased, and slowly black players began appearing in football teams. But acceptance did not come to them. You know, players like Clyde Best at West Ham and Viv Anderson, you remember him, innit?
Yeah, I remember Viv.
Viv Anderson, England's first black international player, broke barriers, you know, and they paid a heavy price. You know, stadiums became hostile environments. You know, monkey chants, bananas thrown on the pitches, um, songs comparing black players to animals. You know, this wasn't just a few bad fans. This was normal match day culture. You know, John Barnes, one of the greatest English players of all time, spoke openly about running down the wing while bananas rained from the stands. You know, imagine that shit. Anyway, imagine that, yeah, trying to do your job while thousands of people dehumanizing you. You know, for decades, football authorities did almost nothing. You know, racism wasn't seen as a problem to solve; it was seen as a part of the atmosphere. There you go. Here we go into the 80s, yeah, a darker era. Darker era, you know. The 80s were brutal. You know, English football in particular had serious racism problems. Groups like the National Front and the far right skinheads movements used football terraces as recruiting grounds. I remember that because, you know, when we used to work, I used to work for a company. They used to go out and on match days for Millwall, they used to
Yeah.
go out there and we used to organize days out on the days when they were having the match days where you get these guys recruiting, and we'll just get the young people out of the area. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, black players were targeted weekly. Um, Paul Cannavale at Chelsea, Cyril Regis, you remember him, innit?
I remember Cyril. Yeah.
Laurie Cunningham, you remember him, innit?
Yeah, I know him.
These men didn't just fight defenders, they fought entire stadiums, you know. Cyril Regis received bullets in the mail. Yeah. Actual death threats, you know, just for playing football. And yet they kept going. You know, they became pioneers, but institutions remained silent. Referees really intervened, which same as today, innit?
Yeah.
Clubs avoided confronting their own supporters. Racism was ignored instead of punished. Yeah, that was in the 80s. Shall we go to the 90s?
Go on. Go on.
In the 90s, things slowly begin to change. Anti-racism organizations like Kick It Out in England and Fair Football Against Racism in Europe was created. Players became more outspoken. France won the '98 World Cup. Remember that, with a
Yeah.
multi-ethnic team celebrated as
I remember that.
blank, blank, blur, black, white, Arab. Um, for a moment, it felt like football was moving forward, but the problem never disappeared. It just changed form. Yeah, and then we can go into the 2000 to 2010. This is your times now, isn't it? All of our times, but this is prominent that we can refresh. Now we enter the era many of us actually remember. Some of the ugliest incidents in football history. 2010, 2011. Sorry, Luis Suarez, Patrice Evra. Remember that case?
Yes.
During a football match, Suarez used racial language against Evra, and an investigation followed. Suarez was banned for 8 matches. Liverpool players even wore T-shirts supporting him. that moment showed something important. Racism wasn't just a fan problem; it existed between players, clubs, and cultures. Then there were, yeah. Anyway, that's a. You know what? They didn't even say that. We got to stop there. Yeah, they didn't even. I remember that they supported this guy in it, the Suarez
Yeah.
thing. They supported him, and they didn't even after they found out anything, they didn't even go backwards and say, yeah, apologies for that. You know what I'm saying?
No. I remember even Steven Gerrard came out at the time, the Liverpool captain, and come out and he supported Suarez and said he supports him and he knows he's not like that and he don't think that he said it and stuff. And I was like, what, what proof have you got that he didn't say it? Evra saying he said something to him, and then obviously they found him guilty to give him an eight match ban. So even that I was looking at like it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Some joke thing.
And he go on,
Go on.
and even like other things like Spain is like obviously we're talking about like the Premier League, but Spain as well. When do you remember the incident Barcelona where the the opposition fans threw the bananas that you spoke about in the introduction where they threw the bananas and Danny Alves picked up the banana and ate it, and I thought that was class when he done that. I laughed still because I was like, he's showing like you lot can't get to me, like what you're throwing bananas at. I was like, what? I'll just pick it up and eat it. That's mad. But yeah, crazy. Even I didn't know Vinny the other day. Vinny was crying like a couple weeks ago because they were booing, they were singling him out because Vinny, to me, over all the years in Spain, Vinny's got it rough because there was a time when, remember, he was the face of Real Madrid Football Club, and then obviously when he has a dip in form, the fans get onto him in it, and I think they chased him to his car in the car park, and like he was supposed to win the Ballon d'Or, not the last one when Dembele won it, the one before, and then obviously they gave it to Rodri at Man City. But they were like, wait a minute, Real Madrid won the treble. He's won the league. He won. They won the Champions League. He scored, I think, the winning goal in that Champions League final. And it's like he was supposed to win the Ballon d'Or. And obviously, when he found out he wasn't going to win, I think Ancelotti said to the all the players, "We're not going to the event in it because we feel that he should have got it in it, not Rodri. Like all Rodri, like it's all crazy. It's all mad. And even Dembele winning it last season, there were still people saying like, should he have won it? Should he have got it? And so why not? He was the best player in Europe last season, so why shouldn't he win it? But have you noticed the noise isn't as loud for Dembele? Like who's really talking about Dembele's when he won the Ballon d'Or thing? People are still talking about Rodri from the season before last. So
Yeah, yeah,
it
totally.
shows you, innit? Shows you.
Yeah, totally, totally.
And then you got other things like should we dive into it? Pools like when certain players have been accused of certain hateful crimes, like, and then you notice when it comes to certain races, certain players get accepted back into this. We're in England now, isn't it? So they get accepted to play football back in the country that they're in. And then you got some players that feel like you got Partey, you got Mason Greenwood, you got Mendy. They don't even want to stay in England no more. Their man just jump ship and just go. Like, get me? They go to France, Italy, Spain. They feel they got more like protection in those countries than staying in England. And then you had the players like, and do you remember this name? Ched Evans.
mm.
Yeah, he actually went to prison for something, come out, and then his ex club let him train, and then they signed him up. And it's like, raw, like, oh, what's that about? But it just shows, in it. It goes by the the race and the creed and the color of your skin, how this country, because I talk for this country because I live in this country, how they'll deal with you and how they'll accept you back. But other people, they have to jump ship and just leave and make a name for themselves away.
What are you
So
talking
it
about?
is.
You're talking about the that Shed Evans thing with and you're talking about that thing
Yeah,
with the Mason thing. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I think what he done, Mr. Evans. I think he done something else. He
Yeah,
done. He done
his
it. He
yeah
done it
yeah
all.
his
He done
thing
it all
yeah
dirty
yeah
movement, and
yeah
where
his thing
and
was different.
yeah, and he done the Mason had a domestic. He had a domestic in it.
A DV, yeah.
Yeah, he had a domestic, which he's married to is the person he had the domestic with now. Do you know what I mean?
No, but this is what I'm saying. But Ched Evans, his thing was the whole a madness, yeah? A different type. Oh, if you're going Richter scales 1 to 10, his was 10. His one went off the chart, 10. But he still got and he did time, and he still got accepted back into society, back into football. The team, even though the fans were saying, if you let him come back, we're not coming to the games, and they still let him like train and play. I think even till this day, he's somewhere playing football. Yeah, but you got man like Greenwood, which was a DV. Yeah, it was in house. Yeah, and they're still together to this day. Rightfully or wrongfully, it's not my business. That's for them thing, is it? But yeah, he you got people coming out on countdown saying if he plays for the team again, I'll revoke my season ticket and all of that. And then they just like, you got to go. We'll send you on loan. He went on loan, and then they sold him because they were letting the outside people have their say. Where I was like, raw. So why didn't this person speak up when it was Ched Evans? Obviously, she doesn't support the team, but at the same time, if you're going down this route, why didn't you speak up?
Yeah, totally, totally. But look, evidently they lost out. United lost out because I mean he was one of the best players of his age in it.
Yeah, of course.
Greenwood, and you can see how he's doing good numbers, goals and assists in Marseille. You know.
I remember me and you had a discussion, was it last week, about if he bags up the place and in football terms does good for Marseille, would he be accepted back to play in the England team, the England national team? You said yeah, I said no, and we had a discussion of the pros and cons. And obviously, you know, you stuck with your thing. If he keeps doing it and he goes to Barcelona or somewhere and he bads it up, because that's where the next rumored moves to be, he could get accepted back into the England squad. And I was like, I don't think so because of outside noise. If it was just his talent and the way he adapts himself to football, I would say, yeah, they would accept him back. But I already know how the FA stay in it, and I don't think they would accept him back. They would. I don't even think he'll get a next team back in England. I think he'll have to stay abroad. I don't think he'll be accepted back in England to play. That's my personal opinion because I've seen over the years, like you've seen over the years, how your ethnicity and your creed and your everything gets brought into account, and they deal with you on that basis, not on your football ability. They deal with you on the ethnic basis. So I don't think we'll ever see him play back football in this country again unless his team's playing an English team and they have to home and away leg. But I don't see it. I wish he could, but I don't think so.
Well, we don't know. Let's just leave that one anyway. Let's go. Let's go back to racism. Yeah, because do you remember the John Terry Anton Ferdinand thing?
Yeah, he used the next racial slur, but go on.
There you go. Yeah, that was a big one. And yeah, that was a big one. I don't want to go into the details. Yeah, but I think
What
they
was his?
sided against it, didn't they? Sided for that he didn't do nothing, right? He didn't really.
Yeah,
Or
they
I know, yeah,
decided and did. Go on.
yeah, yeah. He had a witness. He had a super witness, didn't he? But we're not
Super
gonna get
witness, you
into
know.
that. We had to. Uncle Thomas, motherfucker. But anyway. But
Didn't
anyway,
he have some excuse like he uses those words with certain one
I
of
don't
his
know. I
friends
don't know.
or
I don't
some?
know.
He
I
come
don't
up
know.
with
But
some
it
bullshit
was rubbish. It
excuse.
was rubbish, and it was so rubbish that we're not even gonna talk about it. It was there anyway. That was a high profile racism
Mm-hmm,
scandal in English football anyway.
mm-hmm.
And and look. even in Italy and Spain, black players are routinely abused and monkey chants even today. Like Mario Balotelli back in that
Balotelli.
time, Samuel Eto'o, Kevin Prince Boateng. Remember that way
Yeah,
that one
yeah,
when he
yeah,
famously walked off the pitch in 2013 after
yeah.
hearing racial abuse, forcing the entire team to follow. That which was a powerful movement
Mm.
of resistance, but still, it's still the same over there, out there, isn't it?
But how many of these teams are really walking off the pitch, even though they've said that's the stance they're going to take? You've only seen it a couple times or heard about it. They don't really stick to it.
They don't do it. Yeah, they turn it around and say, "That's giving in. That's giving in." Well, I mean, that would be giving in if that was their tactic to. Do you know what I mean? If that was their tactic, the racial racism, the racist people's tactic to get the match stopped. I don't think so. That was their tactic, right? Because
I don't think it was their tactic.
they come there to watch football anyway. Anyway, 2015 to 15 to 20,
Mm.
stadium behavior slowly improved. A new battlefield emerged: the internet. The internet. Yeah, racism didn't need terraces anymore. It moved to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Players like Raheem Sterling, Paul Pogba, and many others received thousands of racist messages after matches.
Mm-hmm.
Then came Euro 2020. England reached the final. 3 young black players: Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Bukayo Saka, all missed penalties within minutes. Their social media accounts were flooded with monkey emojis and racial slurs. The whole world saw it. Football had changed, but racism had simply found a new technology. Do you remember that one? The penalties, huh?
I don't know if you quite remember when me and you were. I remember we were rapping or talking at the time on the phone when the penalty thing was going on. Yeah.
Mm.
And when these guys missed, I briefly remember saying to you, "Yo, the internet's gonna go mad." Like, and you agreed. You're like, "Yo, we know," because it's like, bro. And then, like you said, within minutes, it went crazy, and it's like, get me like, and I had to ask myself, it's not acceptable. No, it's not. But would they have, like, we seen Kane miss penalty, and it's like that. Get me, nothing didn't happen. No, they're just like, oh, he's usually reliable on penalties. But when these guys miss the penalties now, it's just, yeah, man, it turned nasty, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, it's like, if you're doing that over a human being missing a penalty, like, bloody hell, mate, there's no hope.
100%. And like you was talking about, present day
Yeah,
in 2020, the fight still continues. Like you said, Vinicius Junior.
yeah.
He's faced relentless racist abuse from crowds in Spain, which isn't surprising, to be honest. We know how it is. You know, only recently Spanish authorities have begun taking serious legal action. Matches have been stopped, fans arrested, but the fact remains. In 2025, a global superstar can still be abused for the color of his skin. Which is a
Sorry,
bit
teacher.
sad.
Do you remember the one with Darius Vassell when he missed a penalty for England? Do you remember that one?
No, tell us.
There was, I can't remember if it was, it'd have been earlier than that. I think it was back in, I think it was England versus Italy. I think it was the one where I think Balotelli was playing in that match as well. And I think it might have went to a penalty shootout in the tournament. I remember, and for me saying Darius Vassell, I don't really remember him playing for England too tough, but I remember that tournament, and and he missed the fatal penalty. I remember, and it's like, bro, they started trolling him, like the monkey chants and the "get out of our country" thing, and that. Obviously, I don't know how it affects them because I'm me in it, but I remember it actually messed him up, that thing. And when he missed that penalty, I remember I said to myself, bruv, this guy's gonna he's gonna get abuse. I just knew it because it come. I was so inclined to them type of things. Then I was just like, yeah, he's missed the penalty, the crucial penalty. He's gonna get pelted, and this an exact thing happened to him, and I was like, boy, it's just it's bad, man. Yeah,
Yeah, bad stuff. Bad stuff. I remember that. It wasn't the same. I mean, listen, even remember Jason Lee. Remember
yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Lee, and they. I mean, shit. It is what it is, mate. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and nothing ain't done. It's swept under because it still comes. It still, people are PC now. They know how to act in front of certain people. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And don't show their true colors until they've had a few. Anyway,
What's your opinion? Even like, I know this is, but even down to the media, where is it just mistaken identity where they'll talk about an ethnic person and they'll put someone else's picture in the media and they'll be like, oh, this is I can't remember the exact name, but you remember a few occasions and me and you were like, well, that's not even like how they saying my man's name, but that's not him. Like you're thinking, raw, like what's going on?
yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not sure what it is because it just don't make no sense. To be honest, it's just basic, innit? It's ignorance, innit? It's ignorance. I don't wanna don't wanna establish it too much, but it's like, yeah, it's like you have some people go to another country and they still speak English in that other country. Do you know what I mean? And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, they feel like you should speak English. Is that the little bit of ignorance why they wouldn't understand or wouldn't try to say their name properly or some silly stuff like that? I don't know. I couldn't
I hear
understand
it.
it. Couldn't understand it myself because it's not a lot. It's not a big deal to just do the thing, do the knowledge, and find out how you say this or that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not only about race, is it?
Nah, man.
Football's also struggled with Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, homophobia, discrimination against women, discrimination against LGBTQ plus players. Yeah, I'm saying fans targeted
So much letters that they have done. But,
LGBTQRSTUV. You know what I'm saying?
WXYZ.
Fans have targeted Muslim players for praying. I remember, yeah, yeah. Jewish clubs like Tottenham have faced decades of anti-Semitic abuse. We know that, innit? Yeah, and we
Through their
definitely
through
know
their
that
owner through the owner that they got had Daniel Levy, but yeah.
women's football fought for decades to be taken seriously. Discrimination in football has many faces, my friend.
Uh-huh.
So, progression and hope. Is there any progression and hope? Yeah. I mean, listen. Let's not pretend nothing has changed. Let's not pretend that nothing has changed. Today matches can be stopped for racism, right? Fans can be banned for life. Players speak out without fear.
Mm,
Clubs run education programs. You know what I'm saying? Campaigns
mm,
like Black Lives Matters reach football. The game's far better than it was, yeah? But does that mean it's fixed?
no.
There you go.
But my fixing something is to where
It's eradicated.
it's and it's and yeah yeah and it's not because it isn't such publicized. It doesn't we not we but the public look at it. It's like it's not going on as much, but I don't know that because I'm not a match going fan. I don't go to the ground. I I see videos on socials where people post stuff and you hear racial chanting and be like, "Raw, that wasn't publicized." So it hasn't gone. It hasn't gone. It may have, like you said, the Richter scale has come down, but Let me ask you a question. Do you think it will ever fully go?
Not until they're ready to do something about it. And then
To me, I got hope, like you said, hope. But go on.
not until they're ready to do something about it. You can look at. Remember this guy? He died, didn't it? Not long ago, right? There's referee Uriah Rennie. Did he? He died, didn't he?
Is he dead?
I swear he died. All right, I don't know.
I don't think.
I
I just
don't
think the
know.
last time he ref was in 2005 or something. I didn't know he was brown bread, but yeah, man.
I think right because I remember reading something about him being sick.
Oh shit.
Sorry. Got to put my glasses on. Cause me can't see a blood clot. Yes, he is dead. He died on June 20, last year, June the 7th last year. Okay, so like he was the only black ref, right, we've had in the Premier League history, right? Because
Yeah, because
I
I
don't
remember
remember
was
another black one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone else on or yourself, my friend? I don't remember another black referee, and it was like I remember people complained all the time any kind of decision he made. You know what I'm saying?
I
And called him
remember.
a bad ref and called him this and that. And since then, we haven't seen another black ref. We haven't. I don't even remember a black official.
There,
And I don't understand why there isn't a black official. Now that could be the sign of the racism. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. That could be the sign of the change when you start seeing black officials. You look at the people in the VAR. VAR room making these decisions. I don't see one black person in there. I'm not saying
nope.
I'm not saying there isn't. I haven't seen myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can stand corrected. Do you understand? But I
There
don't.
isn't. Go on.
But I don't see one. So maybe when you start seeing these type of changes, because I know they got women in the game, they got women's football, they got women coaches, and fair enough, that's all right. But we're talking about racism here. Racism changes when we start seeing it. When we start seeing the black managers, black managers, and given confidence and stood there with something where you can just say, you know, look at this guy, for example, the what's his name, the Chelsea manager, Liam.
Rafinha.
He's doing all right. I mean, he lost to only he lost two matches to a world class team. He's only lost to the world class team Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? He and apart from that,
Man said world class, but go on.
and apart from that, he's won all his other games. So like, that's a quite a good record, much better than the other guy was doing, right? Because he was
But
losing.
already,
He was losing that guy. He was win one match, lose two, win one, lose three. He was going. It was a bit up and down his form. They've only done bad against Arsenal. They went and beat what's that team in Italy? Was it Napoli?
Napoli, yeah,
They
yeah,
went
yeah,
and
that
beat
free two or whatever, yeah.
they went and beat Napoli in their house where they haven't lost in how many years?
Mm.
In over 12 months, I think they haven't lost over there. So good result, but already people they're doubting him already. You know, look at look at
Never know.
the Tottenham manager. He's lost a lot of games. So, some bad matches, but they're not doubting him. They're like, oh come on,
Uh,
give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance, give everybody a chance. Yeah, go on, sir.
but when you listen to all these radio stations and all these, they're all like you said. The Tottenham manager, oh, he needs a next. Is this his first season? He needs a next year to get his own players in and all that. But wait a minute, like you said, Rossinia's only been in for what? Not even a month. Not even a month he's been there, and already the Chelsea fans are up and down with him. Like, oh, we should have kept Enzo Maresca. Da-da-da. We won stuff under this guy, and I'm thinking, like, even with Nuno, you're a big fan of Nuno. I'm not in it. I don't. I'm not a fan of Nuno. You are, but at the same time, he needs time. Remember, he hasn't even been there. Remember, he started the season at Nottingham Forest, got sacked because he spoke up against the owners, and then he's gone into West Ham, hardly had no money to spend in this January window, and he's doing all right with the dross that he's got. He's doing all right because if anyone looks at that West Ham squad, to me, I reckon West Ham's got one of the worst squads in the league, and this is including Wolves and Burnley that's under West Ham. I reckon West Ham got the worst squad. They haven't. Their front line's not great. Their midfield, look, one of their midfielders has gone back to Brazil to play football in Brazil. He played his first match yesterday and got booked, and they said, "Oh, he's doing his usual." But and then their defense isn't great. Like their goalkeeper got a mistake in him, so he's doing well as well. But it's like he's gone from pillar to post, from Wolves to Tottenham to Saudi, back again, Nottingham Forest. Look, he got Forest into Europe. Get me? For so many years, they said Forest haven't been in Europe since was it the 80s, the 80s or the 90s?
Something like that.
So he's done well as well. But it's like they're talking about bring back Savon Village, a man that I think got them relegated or something. He didn't do good there, but they're saying bring him back. But give give a brother the chance, isn't it? Everyone deserves a chance. If you're saying Frank needs a season or a next year, why can't Nuno get a next year? Why can't Rafinha get a next year? Why can't these other guys get another year? But it's always that. I don't know, man. Well, I don't know, but I know why it is, isn't it? Because it's down to the ethnicity thing again, isn't it? Where you got these platforms that where they got a big voice, they're pally with this guy and this guy, and they got the voice to say, "Oh, keep him in. You'll be mad to get rid of him. You'll be this and that." And then this is crazy. It's crazy, man. And the narrative needs to change because these guys that they've got on these radio stations and all that, they're not like they'll talk a little bit, but their voices will get overheard. Like it won't get heard enough because are they having the right people on these platforms, or the platforms not allowing people to speak up what they really feel?
Mm.
It's crazy.
Well, racism in football is not just a football problem; it's a society problem.
Worldwide.
The sport simply reflects the world around it, innit? Every generation
Yeah.
has, every generation has had to fight its own battle, from Arthur Wharton to John Barnes to Raheem
Mhm.
Sterling
Mhm.
to Vinicius Junior.
Mhm.
The struggle continues, but so does the resistance.
I hear it.
Football can be a weapon of hate, or it can be a tool for unity.
Mhm.
That choice belongs to all of us.
Mhm.
So yeah, who knows, mate? I don't know. I don't know. Will I like to? I would like to see all the. I would like to see a little bit of fairness. But, like you said, Nuno,
Mhm.
a good manager. You can see West Ham already turned around already. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
all they need is two or three players, and then they go back. They can go mid-table and then spend some money. Whoop.
Well, the window shut on Monday, so he's gonna have to work with what he's got, which
Yeah,
is sad.
yeah. Well, they've even though they've turned around already. They've turned around. You can see a difference in them already, and I can see the
Mhm.
difference already. And that's that guy. You saw with, like you said, with Nottingham Forest, they ain't won jack shit for how many years, and then he come back and just brought them back, put them back into Champions League when they ain't been there for how many decades. He done
Mhm.
that with Wolves. Wolves were
Got them into Europe as well.
this fighting team. They were, they didn't have the ball, but when they attack, they'll attack 5 times and score 4 times. It doesn't matter how long you got the ball, as long as you take them chances, and they were taking all the chances.
Mm.
So them West Ham guys should be happy to have him there, and you know He's gonna do his magic. Let these other guys, you know, the Celtic guy. I don't know. I didn't know the Celtic guy came from America.
Oh, what was it? Not Nancy. His name was also, and then
Nancy. I mean, I know he didn't have the greatest start, and didn't win a lot of games, but
how long was he in charge for? Was it 3 weeks?
not long. Less than a month. Yeah, less than a month, and they just got rid of him straight away. And the only one
And
I
they
heard
bought
talk about him
Martin
was
O'Neill.
Henry.
Go on.
The only person I heard him talk him up was Henry. You know, Henry had him as an assistant somewhere when he was coaching somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't know what we do know, but you know, they're obviously not ready for it up there. Definitely either. And it's barely down here. Who is it? Nuno. He's the only ethnic manager, right, in the Premier League. Oh yeah, Rossini. Yeah, now so it's two, and then it goes down. Who's next? Isn't it? That I know the Huddersfield guy. Remember that black guy, bald head? Was he at Huddersfield?
You're talking of the one that was at West Brom.
Yeah, West Brom. That guy.
Darren Sutton. Yeah, and the big hench black bald-head man. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all right, isn't it?
Darren
Moore. Yeah, he's a good manager. Also, don't get a chance, innit? You get, and look, you can see certain people get certain chances quite quick.
Yeah.
Don't do too much. What happens to them? They get another chance.
Straight away.
You give him another chance, and then, you know, John Barnes. I remember a couple of chances. See you later.
Gone.
I mean, I'm not going to argue.
Again, but go on.
Not everyone's suited to management, right? Not everyone can manage. You understand? But
I hear it.
Still take a chance, right? Take a chance.
I hear it. No, I hear it because what? But Barnes didn't do the great. Where did Barnes manage? Do you remember what?
He was at Celtic as well, wasn't he?
Who?
When he at Celtic as well.
Yes.
That's all I remember. He was at Celtic.
Yes, he was, and it didn't go good for him. It didn't go good for him at all. But at the same time, it doesn't go good for a lot of people. But that's how they do it, isn't it? That's how they do it, King. You got what? Even what? Remember when Shearer went to Newcastle and managed?
He was at Celtic. Then he went to Jamaican national team, and then Tranmere Rovers.
Right, he went out there.
Yeah.
He went out there. I didn't even know he went out there, King.
Listen, he was at the what did he get in Celtic? With Kenny Dalglish, director of football.
Yeah.
He had a high win percentage, 19 wins in 29 games. Yeah, but he got sacked after losing Inverness. Being sacked after poor results.
Caledonia.
That's right. He lost to them, yeah. But look, 19 wins in 29. That's all right. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's over half, yeah. That's not bad. But anyway, went to Jamaican national team to 2008, 2009. Winning the 2008 Caribbean Cup and guiding the team to the CONCACAF Gold Cup.
Oh, they won it?
Yeah. They won that?
Do you know what? I didn't know that.
Then he went to Tranmere Rovers in 2009. 4 months. Winning 2 of his first 14 matches, we were sacked. So yeah, that was John Bones.
John Bones. You don't really hear about him no more, innit?
Yeah, he does the commentary now, doesn't he?
I don't even remember hearing him commentate.
Yeah, he goes to the BN Sports, you know them ones. BN Sports and them other ones where you got all them old rejects, Sky Sports rejects. Them Sky Sports rejects. What's his name? Andy Gray and the other Richard Keys.
And Richard Keys.
The men are running it out there.
how they deal with you got like they deal with that. It's like you said, it goes down like not just sport. It's in everything. But like if you, I mean, it branches out because they deal with that Coco Goff girl bad as well, man. And it's like she hasn't done nothing wrong to nobody, but they deal with her bad. And it's like even she's spoken about out
What are you
about
doing, man?
certain
Stop that
things.
noise, man. Stop that noise.
Oh, you can. Oh, is it loud?
Yes, yes.
Oh, shit.
You fucking nutter. You fucking nutter.
I didn't even know it was so loud.
Yes, my friend. I'm taking the thing away so you can't hear it.
Oh shit.
Anyway, listen. Well, listen. It is what it is. It was a short one today. 45 minutes. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for. This was a special one about racism because we're gonna come back to this one again and see if anything's changed. Do you know what I mean? End of the year, we'll come back to this one. See what's new, what's different. See if Liam's still at the job. See what if Nuno's taken West Ham halfway up the Premier League now. Halfway up the Premier League. Me personally, I think he's gonna take them out of the relegation. Do you know what I mean? And
I don't. But go on.
well, it's written here now, so we'll see. We'll have that to fall back on, and then look. Told you, man. I told you.
Yeah, that's what I'll be saying to you.
We will see. Time will tell. Well, anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. You know, if this story moved you, yeah, share it, talk about it, challenge racism wherever you see it, on the pitch, online, in an everyday life. You know, listen, football belongs to everyone, yeah, not just a certain few. Okay. So, with that being said, big up my man over there, and hopefully, we'll get Thingy back on the next episode.
Hopefully, for real. We need him back.
Yeah, he's taken a nice,
Whatever,
a nice relaxing time, you know. A nice, well-deserved relaxing time. So yeah.
I hear it.
You start again.
Stick him up.
So yeah, big up and yeah. Hopefully next week, next show, next topic. But we want to go for a juicy topic next time, yeah? A juicy one. No, we're not going to talk about Valentine's. We might talk about we might talk about relationships and, you know, maybe online dating or something like that. Who knows? Any suggestions, guys? You know, just feel free to put it on the chat below. You know, zip up, brethren. Anyway, on that note, man's going out there. We're going out there as well. Yeah. Blessings, everyone. Yeah. Big up.